We got kind of like a summer storm thing happening today. Every time it thunders real, real hard like this, my husband's like, what you mad about? Oh, he knows me so well, okay? But anyway, I am in a mood today, all right? It's a Thothy, to be honest, it's not really. It's a tarot. Bugs are out. It was going to be like Thothy, but it's just tarot, you know? I was recently watching Mixtress Ray's video. Hi. Hey girl, hey. And I think she was reviewing a deck and whatnot. Didn't really care about the deck. I really just watch her videos to hear her talk. But anyway, and she was kind of talking about the AI, the soullessness of AI art, and then how the guide, there's a dissociation between the guidebooks and the decks, you know. And I was like, oh my God, I've been feeling this, okay? And this is from decks that I've had forever. This is my own decks. I got out my Wild Essence Thoth because, I don't know, I just haven't felt like I've visited with it lately, you know what I'm saying? And so I got it out, and I got to thinking, okay, just looking at the images, you can't tell what astrological sign, what's what on the tree of life, okay? The only thing that you get with, well, I'll say my OG version, is the keywords, which are the same keywords in the Thoth system, or the Thoth tarot. I didn't add any more symbols to it, to this, you know, to any of them, really, to this one or my other Thoth deck. And so I was looking through it, because like I said, I wanted to visit with it. And then it got me thinking about, like, I wrote, I don't know how many pages, a few pages of a small little white book for this. And in it, I kind of map out, like, why I chose the images that I chose for the majors. And then with the minors, I kind of had like this, I don't know, this like weird story arc, you know, for each suit. And I played it out like that. I didn't really go into the astrology. I didn't go into the astrology or any of that in the guidebook, because for someone that wanted to pick this deck up, that's interested in Thothy art, I'll say, and they don't know any of that stuff, it doesn't show it, right? It doesn't show in the cards the symbols and the esotericism, okay? So why would I put that in the little white book? I wouldn't, okay? It's kind of demented to me. But then I got to thinking about my other deck, okay? And I'm really not trying to toot my own horn here, because conversations like this about soullessness, about AI, about art in general, about tarot in general, get me to thinking about my own collection and about the decks that I've made, what they might do for the community and what they may not, you know? The conversation that I want to generate around the decks that I make personally are, I hope that you like this. That's it. You know, if you're interested, purchase. That's it. Because it was such a soul project, and especially with my Wild Essence, that was such a labor of love, because I felt so creatively challenged. And let me just show you some more, okay? Let me get off the ones that I've already showed. I was so creatively challenged in choosing the free images that are available to me through various softwares that I have. Like, which images to choose. Is there going to be a story arc? Is there not? Like, look at this lion with this backlight. Isn't this not perfect for the Prince of Wands? Because he's backlit, like a performer, right? I thought that was epic. And then something like this, fortune. It's the ripples, man. It's the ripples. If anything in nature, to me, and that's kind of what I thought about. I kind of thought about, like, it has to be a picture of nature, because this was like I said, David Attenborough meets Aleister Crowley, and they're kind of conversing in the ether about life and nature and tarot, right? And archetypes. Oh my God, the wind. I don't need another traumatic episode where like one card blows off into the yard, I don't notice it, and then it gets rain damaged. And then by the time I notice it, it's disintegrating. And I'll have a deck in there that's cardless. Let me put some like weights on these. There we go. Got some like a big ass rusted wrench here. I don't want to bend my cards. There we go. So it was a soul journey. And then at the end of it, I was sitting there like, I love this. Like, look how perfect this is for the Knight of Discs. I mean, the Queen of Discs was like the most epic of all epic images for the Queen of Discs. Like, come on, you know? And it was literally pouring through these images. And like if you just, on the surface, it's just nature images. But when you're cultivating and trying to all the archetypes into one image, it's hard. It's hard than people think, you know? And so anyway, when conducting this tarot experiment, I got to thinking, you know, what does it all mean? I was doing that when I made these decks, when I made all my decks. Well, no, all my tarot decks, okay? I was going, what does it all mean? Does it all have to have the esotericism in it? And if it does, how does that play out? And do I have to notify people if I put it in there and if I don't? And what if I don't, like, let's say, for instance, one card is, you know, what do you say? Mars in Cancer or some shit, okay? And you kind of don't read it like that, right? You're kind of like, I mean, this adding up to what it is on the Tree of Life, you've done all your studies, and you're like, I don't see it. So you want to let's just say you believe more in the Tree of Life association than you do the astrological, if that's even a thing, if you can differentiate, right? If it doesn't all mean the same thing. And so, let's just say, because I don't even know if this has happened to me before, but let's just say if the associations of astrology and Tree of Life are interlocked because the esotericists have placed the associations onto each other, right? I'm sure that was Eliphas Levi. So, I think, if I'm remembering right. But anyway, so everything has an association that's interlocked. But, kind of like Crowley, if you read a card a certain way, or say you even started with a whole nother system or even playing cards, okay? And you just kind of have always read the yada 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 card like this, then the astrology, or possibly even the play. The ends of my hair have gone limp now. The astrology or the Tree of Life association just it doesn't express the same message, right? And so you're kind of sitting there like, well, I read it like this, and the only association that is on this card is that it's a 3, and that's enough for me. But that's just it. Like, when is it enough? And then, like I said, what does it all mean? Means, to me, the question has to mean something. Just having the question in my head means something. Not that I'll do anything with it, because that's important too. I can just let it sit there, right? But it's the action behind the question has to mean something. The question itself, the words that put together that question, and then the fact that I don't know. God, I don't know what I was going to say with that. Oh, the heat's getting me. The question sits there. I choose whether or not to act upon this question. And the question is, what does it all mean? Means to me that something has to mean something. And I don't believe that. That a card can just be a card with an image on it. And depending on our self-sealing logic, the latter therein, the experiences, the way we form logic and the way we experience the logic that we have through experiencing things is all different. So if this card and this image and this number, because at the base of it, that's what a tarot card is, okay? At the very base, it's something drawn, something on it, some image and a number, and maybe a title of some kind. Suit title or court title, right? Or major title. Still has a number, usually. But, so it's like, that's pretty much the essence of a tarot card. If you so choose not to put any other associations on that card, that's okay, because you're just working with the essence of said thing. Is the symbol that thing or the essence of that thing? I think I asked that recently in something else. But then, that's what I try to do. I try to get to the essence. I try to get to the essence of a lot of things, so that I can kind of use a microscope of the big microscope in my brain to pinpoint what the essence may be. And if I can't ascertain what the essence is, at least I can get close enough to see its light and to see its soul and to see what it means. I'm laughing at myself now. Ugh. This is bad. Is this bad, y'all? So I tried to get to the essence of, my God, what's your name, child? Essence. Not essence. Quintessential Thoth. Jeez. I used specific abstract images. There is no AI art in this, except for, it's not AI. I took abstract images that exist out in the world that were free, completely free. Okay, they're stock files that can be used for commercial use, and manipulated the colors and maybe stretch them if I needed to. That's it. And you can do that with any kind of a software, art software. And what that taught me was that the colors matter, right? Now, when you get into it in the DuQuette book, he goes a little bit more in depth about what the colors of the Thoth may mean. That they have a place in the four worlds of the Tree of Life, right? There's four Tree of Lives happening simultaneously that run down like a ladder. So when you hear Tree of Life, and Thoth Tarot, it's really 4 trees of life. And then you've got the clip off, which is the underside of that. There's sort of 8 damn trees of life happening all at one time. And then of course the positions of each card run differently, and blah, 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 and it runs like, you're line graphing some shit in math, okay? And the colors go off of all of that, right? And they kind of mix and intertwine. And Crowley was trying with Lady Fred Harris to express the colors intertwining based on all of these systems. The sun's bouncing off the White House next to me, next door neighbors, washing me out real bad. So anyway, I did that for this, but see, no inherent Tree of Life, no inherent astrology. Well, I did include 12 astrology cards, but that's for those that would like to add those into their practice, right? They're already in the cards. But it's like, because I didn't show them on the cards, does that mean it's not there? Does that mean that someone learning Thoth wouldn't get the same out of it? I don't know. If you had this deck, okay, let's try a little experiment, all right? I got Lon's book out here. It's just bibliomancy to a card. Okay. Well, it stopped at the star, but I'd like to have a minor arcana, so let's get to 5 of Wands. Of course it is. Okay. So I'll pick the 5 of Wands. Strife from this deck. Now, the way this book is laid out, it tells you the astrology, yada, 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 okay, and what the Golden Dawn says about this card, the title, okay, and then it goes into the color, the King scale, the 4 scales of Saturn, the 4 scales of Leo, and the Formula 5, which formula is 5 is the number, but also as Give-a-Ra on the Tree of Life, of Wands, which is Wands being one of the 4 on the 4 trees of life, which is Azuluth, okay, and then Saturn and Leo, which is astrology. And you add all those, that's the formula, right? So you have the King scale. It's on the King scale because it's a wand, and because it's Give-a-Ra. And then you have the 4 scales of Saturn and the 4 scales of Leo. Saturn and Leo being what the astrological signs for the card are, right? And those both have colors laid out for each. All those colors are present. So, okay, right? So let's get to Strife. I wish I had some fucking elevator music to play for you guys, or like some Charlie Chaplin. Okay, I found it though, so you're welcome. Okay, so this is my Strife. 5 of Wands. They're, okay, according to the King scale, which is, like I said, one of the trees of life. King scale being Azuluth. So like I guess the top, even though there is no top, they run like a Mobius strip together, is orange. That color's orange. Then you got indigo, black, blue, black, and raid blue, Saturn colors, of course. And then Leo's colors are yellow, like a greenish yellow, probably like a acid yellow, deep purple, gray, reddish, amber. So earthy, fiery, earthy colors. Colors of fire. Colors of fire. That's what I'll say for Leo, because it's probably being a fire, I don't know, like yellowish green, like an acid fire, maybe like a poisonous fire. I could see that for for Leo. Deep purple. I could see like a cerulean blue, the color of like the hottest part of fire, not deep purple. Grayish and reddish amber. Like reddish amber, I'm thinking forges, I'm thinking iron, I'm thinking forges, lava, right? Mosquitoes trapped in amber. Are you working it with me? None of that's here. The only color I chose was yellow. Why is that? Because I studied a little bit. I'd already studied all this, but this is years in the damn making. But I looked at the colors and I thought, okay. And I kind of decided at the essence, what would the colors be? Because here's the rub. In an essence, you can use all the colors still. In a lot of these, I used a whole bunch of colors. But then in some, I had to scale back. I had to dial it back. And it's like, how did I choose? I don't even know. But how did I choose to portray all the colors for one card and minimalize some others, right? And maybe it's psychological, right? Like with Strife, I'm thinking, this is a bad card. This is negative. If I make it too busy, it even further adds to the muddiness of the brain. right? And then I got to thinking, the background of the OG Strife card in the Thoth Tarot is yellow. You know, all the other colors for the, what do you call those things? D-Jobes. Oh my gosh, it starts with a D. The scepter things that Crowley uses in his wand suit. Doesn't matter. Then you get into the card itself, right? And it says it's a wild mix of profound contradictions, right? You can't tell that from just a yellow. Fiery Leo is happy enough in fiery Givara, and Givara implies motion and offers an environment of strength and activity. So I underlined strength and activity years ago. So strength and activity, motion, fire, motion. I'm thinking the strength of a brushstroke, which I further accentuate in the Queen of Wands with it being like this real ruddy, reddish background with like one swoop of a yellow brushstroke. And it's the fierceness of doing what you have to do. That's what that fierce brushstroke meant to me. But then this is like, you can tell the canvas in my head as an artist, you can tell that this kind of is like a palette knifed color. This is background color because it's been palette knifed and scraped on the canvas, and you can kind of tell the texture if you have this deck, but I don't know if you'll be able to see in the glare, but you can kind of tell there that there's a texture to the card. And so I got to thinking that could be the emotion and the motion and the strength and it's the strength of this, of the stroke and of the background. How you need a background, you need a firm background to things. And with Strife, with it being this, well, what is it called? Constant resistance because of Saturn, right? And that's the palette knife. Saturn is the palette knife, right? So I was thinking all this, and you can't tell any of this because you're not in my brain. Does it mean anything? So when you look at this card, can you notice all this? I don't know. Let's look at another one. Actually, you know what? Let me look for some ones that have some actual colors. Okay? Like Prudence. It's very floral to me, very abstract, fractal floral. Got a lot of colors in there. But if we look at, we're in the wands, let's go to the discs real fast. If we look at the discs and see Prudence 8. The colors for Prudence are as follows. This is a princess scale, yellowish brown, flecked white. No white, but whatever. Orange, gold yellow, rich amber, amber, and rayed red. Rayed red means like sunburst, right? I can see all of those colors, all of those mentioned. Greenish yellow, a yellowish green. I can see that too. Slate gray, green gray, and plum color. I can see all that. And then, but yeah, it's like when you look at the formula, okay, you're looking at the Tree of Life Association, which in this case is Hod because it's an 8. But then you're looking at the Scale Association, so that's one of the 4 Mobius stripping trees of life, and that is the Princess. And then you're looking at, or the Asai, and then you're looking at the fact that this is Sun in Virgo. Can you tell any of that by looking at this? Can you, okay, here's the bigger question, because fuck my decks, you know? Can you tell this in a lot of decks? When you get any deck out, can you notice this stuff? Let me pose the question again, okay, to myself. What does it all mean? Does it have to mean anything? Does it mean anything? And if it does mean anything, what? Because if I can pick and choose when to use the associations that I believe in, does that mean that when I'm giving a reading to someone else, which I don't do, So what am I saying? But if, let's just say, okay, that I'm giving this reading to someone else, and I'm like, huh, well, it's an 8, so that means Hod, and Hod is yada yada yada. I'm pretty sure Hod is splendor. Let me check myself, because I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. The heat is frying my brain. Here we go. Splendor. I was right. Okay. Splendor. And it's Mercury, right? Okay. So, see, just with that alone, not knowing the princess, king, queen, prince scale, which of the 4 scale of the tree of life you're on, but you know that it's an 8. You know that that means splendor. Splendor as in, splendor of, like, joys of life. The little moments that make life worth living. Or Mercury, which, to me, not necessarily in numbering, but in astrology, so it nods back to the magician, right? A little. So anyway, so there's splendor happening, and it's like, would I be doing that when I'm just sitting there reading some tarot cards for somebody? Well, this is the 8 of discs. It's Hod, which means splendor. Are you doing things in your life to nourish your life? I don't know why I'm going old lady with this. I'm just, right? I'm in my head with this. So, and then, of course, because they're curious and maybe they don't know what tarot is, they're like, well, what's prudence mean? And then you sit there and you're like, well, honey, prudence is, it's a form of moderation, just a little, and I need to get out of this voice. Doing something to the cellular structure of the mom and grandma that live inside of me, and then you're sitting there talking to them like a person, but then are you gonna spiel it out? Because right off the rip, they'll go, huh, 8 of discs. What's that mean? Inquisitive, right? Duh. And then you're like, And then you have your usual spiel. Let's just say it's 1 card, because I mean, who does 1 card? But still, okay, just going off this. And then they're curious, and you're like, well, let's pick this out. Okay, it's an 8, which is further on this side of the number line. It's a disc or a pentacle, if you prefer, and that's your work ethic. But it's also prudence, because being the key word here means moderation. So are you doing things to be prudent in your life, but also bring some joy in your life? Because, see, on the tree of life, which at this point, they've zoned out. They don't give a shit, okay? On the tree of life, that means Hod, and which means splendor, which means you're nourishing things in your life that might eventually bring you some joy. And they're sitting there like, you got all that from what? So naturally, in a point of reading for someone else, the few times I've done it, they either zone out from, okay, what the fuck is this bitch talking about? Or they're really listening and sponging it all in. But to the point where they really want the message. They want the essence. They want the essence of, Missy, sit down. Sit down. They want the message, and you normally, if you have multiple cards, you're doing kind of a formula, right? Like the cards do in general, but you're doing kind of like an addition problem, right? It's a math problem when you're adding it all up and subtracting what needs to be subtracted, because you're kind of getting a vibe. They've already told you what the question is, so you're like, oh, well, it might not be that, so let's take that out. Still trying to, and you work all this through till you find the essence of what the message is trying to say. Do you need all of it? Do you need Hod, splendor, these 6 colors, this image, right? But like I said, naturally you get to that point in the reading where you're like, what do you see when you look at this? It's like giving somebody a Rorschach test. You're like, you see a butterfly? You see David Blaine doing this? I think that's happened to me once. the one that looks like a butterfly, they all look like butterflies because they're like they're slap mirrored images of each other. But it looked like somebody was like, it looks like David Blaine doing one of his stunts. And I didn't laugh then, but I think looking back in hindsight, I laughed because it did. It did. I'm like, damn, I can't unsee this shit now. You know, the angel of, Chris Angel, the magician that used to do these tricks, you know, these illusionary tricks. Chris Angel Mind Freak, is that what it was called? He's like a mind fuck magician. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. It's probably some weird meme back when memes weren't even a thing yet. So anyway, I don't know what I'm trying to say in this. I got these decks out. So for that reason, so like I said, basically at the end of the reading, after you've gone through your whole spiel, then after your spiel about what it all is broken down, if you even do that, you might not. You might just skip that. You just do it in your head quick, and then you do your math problem, and then you spit out a meaning from all of that. Because it happened in your head, and the querent may not even need all that, you know, unless they're paying you for like a 30-minute reading, and you just gotta add it all, just stroke that shit like you're icing a cake, you know. I can only imagine. Okay, I think that I would be, I think that I would really try to be a serious and bona fide tarot reader if I were doing it professionally. Like a lot of people, okay? A lot of great tarot readers. They are serious, but then I would try so hard not to take myself and the querent too seriously. It's just all about, you know, I've got this like Elton John Circle of Life song stuck in my head now, you know? And then you're constantly going back, they leave, and you forget their name. You forget what they look like. And what did it all mean? Did they take your advice? Did they not? Not that it fucking matters, because it doesn't. Did you even give advice, or was it just a meaning? Was it gentle? Did it have to be some tough love? Did the reading mean anything to you or the querent? Even if you read for yourself, shit, I read for myself all the time. When I am looking and trying to decipher, that's what the word I'll use. When I'm trying to decipher, it's like, did I need it all? Did I need all the associations? Did I need to know what the Tree of Life was doing? You know, to form an opinion about what one or multiple cards mean. But then you get into the conversation of intuition versus book learning, right? I'm an advocate for both. It's all a math problem to me. You need to be able to pick a deck out of your stack, okay? And just pick one at random, and then you shuffle and pull some cards, right? You need to be able to be open intuitively, okay? And, you know, this way, okay? Heart, mind, third eye, blah, blah, blah. Open to interpret what you already see. Ooh, yeah, I'm seeing this, and this. Oh, okay, I like that. Ooh, I got some wands happening. I've got no water anywhere, not a drop to drink, okay? You need to be able to intuitively just blah. And then, if you need to, okay? A lot of us still go to our books. I'm still got this damn thing, you know? We still refer to our reference materials. If I pulled out Rachel Pollack or Terry Hutchins, that 101, Tarot 101, great book. Wonderful exercises in that book, okay? You reference your reference materials for X, Y, and Z. And you pull out a book, like I said, any of them, and you kind of read up, even if it's a little white book, you read up on the references. Or you get one of the tomes out, like Holistic Tarot, okay? and you read up on the card or all the cards. This is kind of how you do when you're learning. This is kind of how I did, right? I wanted to open myself up to reading intuitively and by the book. And that just meant that I wanted to be able to say, yeah, this is what this means, with no book. And then get the book out and be like, okay, that's not what I saw at all. But, like a math problem, I added what I saw with what the book said. Like, this is what this card means, this is what this card means, this is what, and then add that up, and that's the general message, right, of that problem tarot spread. And then I add that to what I saw, and then that generates another, you know, another big meaning, an essence meaning. And so that's kind of how I learned. But you still do that. When you still do that, what does it all mean? Do you still have to have those big, long associations up at the top of that page to be able to... No. I think that any message that you get, in some sense, is valid. Unless you're just one of those people that they're always telling you what you want to hear. And you're kind of okay doing surface level readings. Is that okay? Maybe. I don't know. If that's how you want to do it, that's how you want to do it. Who am I to throw shade on you? If you want to spend your time, you know, mulling over your deck and you just want some surface level stuff sometimes, okay. And then other times you want to really dive, then that's fine too. Then, like I said, sometimes we have to get back to the question, what does it all mean? Does it all mean anything? When we're looking at, like I said, the essence of a tarot card to me is an image with a title, a few titles, and a number. What are you looking at? At the end of the day, you're looking at art. You're looking at art. If someone didn't know tarot from Adam, found, okay, a random, how weird is that? I pick up a random tarot card, actually not mine, okay, like of a tarot deck that's out there, that's popular, okay, like just the three of swords from tarot, like it's just popular, right? If someone didn't know tarot from Adam, they're already kind of linked somehow to this popular image of this from the Rider-Waite-Smith system. You know, the heart with stabbing, the 3 swords, it's raining in the background. Some might even know that it's 3 swords, but they don't know that it's the 3 of swords. They don't know that swords is even a suit. They don't know that 3 means something numerologically. You know, they don't know tarot intrinsically. So, but yet when they see that image, it's art. It's art. Is that enough? Is it enough for tarot to be art? And is that what we're chasing? We're chasing the art portion of that. We take out the associations and just go, this is what I feel. This is what I know. Blah, 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 blah. And then in the day, you're just at a museum looking at a painting going, this is what I feel. Which is still valid. But where does it end and where does it start? What does it mean? So, also I picked this out of the bookcase. This is another one of them tomes, okay, that will, basically I had the Crowley's Book of Thoth, and notebooks scattered out, and I really got into it, right? And then, like, probably about, I'll say 300 pages in, I was like, needed a break. Like, I had poured myself into the study, and then, nah, I was like, okay. And then you skim the rest of it because you're like, I've got to do something with the rest of this book. And then you kind of doubt yourself and you're like, I don't even know if I'll ever finish it. But then, do I need to? I can read Thoth like the back of my fucking hand. And then you kind of get cocky with it. I get arrogant with it because I'm like, shit, I've been reading Thoth so long. But it's like, then like I said, the doubt hits me with the arrogance because I'm like, what if there was something in this book that I didn't know or that I didn't think about? And so the eternal student in us is like churning out this crap that makes us feel like we need it because it's going to mean something. But at the end of the day, does it? I'm going to quit rambling now. Let me pull y'all a card. Let's do that. That's fun. Y'all just sat here for however long this video is going to be, because I don't even know if I'll edit this damn thing, and just watch my face in the sun. So let's pull a card, and I probably won't even say anything. Just to prove my point. Does it mean anything? It does mean something. It does mean something. Archetypes mean everything. Archetypes are feral. Archetypes are primeval. They mean everything. So, I don't know. Oh, there goes one. It flew off. Prince of Cups. The eagle has landed. The eagle here, the prince here, is making a mad dash to catch his food, to catch the fish. And that's the Prince of Cups energy, is we're catching it. We are flying, right? And we're flying above the lake, okay? And from our vantage point, okay, because if you've ever been like in a helicopter, you can see all the sharks near the people, and you're like, oh. So from their vantage point, they could see the fish, and they're lurking, you know, getting ready to pounce. I don't know if you still call it pounce if it's from the air, but then all of a sudden they make a rash decision, and they swoop down. It's kind of swiftness, but there's more. I would say there's more and less strategy involved. It's instinctual. It's an instinctual nature of the prince, of his archetype. That he's going, gone. And then he's caught his fish, and even if he doesn't catch a fish, he did what his instinct told him to do. So even if he loses his prey, he followed his gut. He followed his instinct. What a cool message for today's video. I like that. Okay, tell me what y'all been up to. Again, hi Mextress. I know I mentioned you before because I think your video about you reviewing something inspired me. And I do hope that we can have conversations about this, about AI art and art in general. Tarot as art, tarot as archetypes, tarot as everything, tarot as nothing. I hope y'all are having a good day. Much love.